Got that one. Unmute this for a second, and then I'll see how this sounds. Got that one. I might turn off my air conditioner. I can hear that really loud. Just for a second, and then I'll see how this sounds.
Yeah.
I might turn off my air conditioner. I can hear
I'm gonna turn the volume down on my headset.
Yeah. Okay, let me turn my AC off, and then I'll be right back on the headset. I don't think it's too terribly hot out now that the sun's not on. What's up there, Takeo?
Yeah, that's it.
Takeo?
Oh, shit.
Yep, let me pop open the stream chat. Okay. It sounded pretty good, so I guess just bumping my audio up to 150 instead of 100 seems to have helped.
Sounds good.
Oh God, I haven't played this in a while.
How much have you played of State of Decay?
Not that much. Couple hours, maybe. So anyway, welcome to being. Oh, what's that?
No, that's right. Just started.
Yeah. Welcome to B+S Gaming, episode 16. I'm Sam.
I'm Bill.
And it's been a couple weeks. My birthday was the last stream. There's actually quite a bit that's happening.
Yeah, we didn't do anything.
We streamed.
Yeah, but like we didn't like do anything. Like we didn't even like decide to go out later on or something. Not that night, but like at some point in the preceding or following week.
Yeah, we didn't really, but you know, I'm getting old, so that might be why.
Yeah, I didn't go. I haven't been going out. I haven't been going out for my birthday either.
Yeah, we old farts start getting that way.
Yeah, speak for yourself. It's less about that. It's more just about like, you know, it's there's nothing special about it. Like, believe me, I love to go out and I love to party and drink and hang out with my friends. But last year I started. The first thing I did was I asked Surf, who's like my birthday buddy, because we have birthdays a year and a day apart, if we wanted to go to our usual haunt every year, which is Tattooed Moms, this real popular bar in Philly. And he was like, nah. So for me, it's just like, you know, if it's just gonna be me and Candace hanging out and you, well, that's like any other given weekend.
Right.
What's the point?
Yeah, pretty much. Ooh, what's this? View beds.
Alright, so before we get into the show, we're playing State of Decay. How this works, I don't know if you're familiar with the way the multiplayer works in this.
Curse joined my game the first night I was playing, like later on. But that was about it.
Your microphone's pretty low.
I had moved it away from my mouth.
Yeah, it's not helpful.
Yeah. So, let's see. Can you invite me, or do I have to do something in the game? Yeah, if you hit start, you can do it.
Yeah, I think if I continue my game and then invite you into my game, I'm still working out the audio settings here so that the...
Yeah, that works.
I think it's better. It's like the game audio is just like still blaring even though I'm trying to mix it.
Yeah, I try to make it more towards voice, and I also have the party automatically reduce the volume of the game.
Is that in the audio settings?
I think it's in
that.
party settings, actually. Let me look.
Oh, okay.
No, I think it is in audio settings.
Interesting. Yeah, it's not my... That's all right. It sounds better now.
Okay.
I mean, the game's taking forever to load, but...
Yeah.
The real test will be when the things come out. Yeah, so I think I gotta start a game, or you start your game. So basically, instead of just kind of like going onto like a, you know, server, it just does like, it's either going to be you join my world or I join your world, and any experience that you accrue, whoever's game it is, the experience stays in that world, which I think is kind of a weird way to do it, but maybe it was just too hard.
I think anything in your backpack
never, you know.
can come back with you.
Oh, that's cool. All right.
Ooh.
It's fucking dark wherever I am.
Yeah, me too. And it sounds like I got a zombie trying to break in. Yep.
Do you want to invite me to your world, or you want me to...
Well, you might be further along than I am, so it's up to you.
Alright, I'll send you an invite.
Alright, there we go. Okay, anyway.
Yes.
So, now back to the show. Quite a lot of topics have come up. We can skim over some of them. I guess the biggest topic that came out in this past week was IGN got caught plagiarizing a review of a smaller YouTuber by the name of Boomstick Gaming. I don't know if you really read too much about that.
Is it fair to say that IGN did it?
Well, you see, but that's kind of the problem is, if you're going to look at it it was the one editor, okay, you have to say that. But at the same time, whenever an editorial, well, maybe not an editorial as much, but news story, review, blah blah blah, goes up on one of these big sites, it's not this person's thing, it's IGN's thing. So it's going to be a stigma that haunts IGN for a while. You see what I'm saying?
I mean, they threw the guy under the bus, and actually, let me be fair. They threw him under the bus. He had multiple instances of having plagiarized work, and so they pulled all of his stuff down. And I don't think it was just IGN; it was other sites too, right?
He was a YouTuber before that.
All
right. Which, of course, makes it even worse in that respect because he plagiarized another YouTube person. You know what I mean?
Right.
Jesus, this game is dark.
Which is shitty. I mean, it's shitty. No way around.
Oh yeah, yeah. There's no way about it.
Oh, they are.
And IGN did the right thing. They pulled the review, pulled the video review, and investigated. And I want to say the same day they decided that it was far too close and fired him. Which, when you're in a position like that, especially when you're a bigger site, okay, like if you're GameSpot or you're IGN, you don't have a choice. Like if the investigation says yes, it looks like plagiarism, you have to let that person go. And I know...
I didn't know that was that's just...
Oh, yeah, yeah.
That's just a solid rule of...
Oh, yeah. The New York Times had to let somebody go a couple years back for plagiarism. Anything like that. If you're especially if you're a major news site of any type, you can't have plagiarism haunting you. You can't let that person stay. Right. Boy, you got barbed wire and everything.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Look at you.
I got some stuff going on, some upgrades.
So
there is. So is there? what you're saying is there is just an unspoken rule, or is it almost like a journalistic edict, right? Like you just have like there's no compromise.
I think it's probably more of like an unspoken rule that it has to happen. Because, again, you know, the reputation of your news organization is at stake. Where if you keep the plagiarizer on, like, you have to watch them like a hawk. And there's, you know, why are you going to do that when it's much better to just get rid of them, apologize to, you know, the readers and whoever that they were doing. Hey, what's up there, Shomo? You know, you're just better off doing that.
Right. And that makes sense.
So...
Oh, man, this thing's almost out of fuel. Son of a bitch.
You don't have any gas?
No, that's where my generators are running low. All right, let's go kill some zombies, because there's some zombies in my base.
I gotta remember how to do anything in this game.
Yeah, me too. Don't worry. So you should have downloaded Elder Scrolls, man.
So, yeah. I mean, what are your thoughts on just in general, like the whole situation?
Of plagiarism, I think that, I honestly think that, to your point a minute ago, you know, it's gonna plague IGN, and it should, because the job of the editor is to kind of safeguard against this stuff. That stuff never should have gone out. I mean, on the other hand, I mean, to be fair, it's kind of tough to go and screen untold infinite numbers of YouTube videos to try and find, you know, plagiarized material.
Right.
But still, I mean, but I still think that IGN does have culpability in it. And so I don't think I think that any sort of negative, what do you want to call it? Any negative perceptions that they've incurred as a result is earned. As far as the subject of plagiarism goes, I mean, I had my artwork plagiarized a couple times. Once in high school, and I was actually the judge on the contest, and a kid had asked to borrow. I was for some reason, like I spent like months, I was real big into RoboCop versus like all these pop culture icons, like Freddy Krueger, Jason Voorhees, Michael Myers. No, I didn't do Michael Myers. I did a bunch of stuff. And it was just like little like 4-panel sort of like beat the shit out of them strips.
Right.
And the one kid really liked it, said he wanted to borrow it. We wound up kind of taking it and redrawing it, and then submitting it to this art contest at school, which I was a judge. So I was like, I can't fucking believe that he submitted my work. Now you're high school kids. Maybe he just thought that by redrawing it, he was then kind of putting his own spin on it, and therefore it was his. But then as I got older, in art school, I had somebody who went and plagiarized my work and submitted it in art school. And so I know that it feels pretty shitty to have someone take your work and claim it as their own, because they might have put the effort into rewriting it or re-editing it in some way, but it's the creative ideas that were stolen,
right?
You know, not necessarily the labor. So, and I find it, you know, in terms of content creation, it's a high insult, and I think it's a good thing to have a standard that says if you're plagiarized, there is no court of opinion here, or you know what I mean, there's no trial. You're fired. You're done. And I think that was the appropriate thing.
Yeah, I was actually plagiarized, 15 years ago by GameSpot, and it was just.
And I don't remember you ever talking
It was
about
just some little shitty news story that I had written up. It, you know, was maybe 3 to 4 paragraphs. I mean, it literally took like maybe 10 minutes to write, okay? So it wasn't like it was anything major. But what happened was I went out, I found the lead, I wrote up my news story, and then I went to work. No.
What's going on, hon?
You know, I went to work, and then I came home, and I ended up, you know, I went to GameSpot, and I saw a news story about the same game that I had written about, and it was some little tiny thing. And I went, and I looked, and I'm like, boy, this looks awful similar to what I wrote. And then I looked at it. I opened up another tab, looked at my news story, and it was literally copy-pasted. And I mean literal.
Yeah, that sucks. You know, that's the one thing, too, that makes, you know, in a kind of modern era of video reviews and pretty much video content, is back in the day, right? Because, you know, when you worked at that place, Games Are Fun, and I don't know what other places you wrote for, but it was easy to web search because you just web search the text.
Yeah.
You know?
And it still is.
It
still is. One of the ways for that. But for it's still easy to, oh, wow, that looked awesome. It still is easy to search text. However, searching videos, not so much.
Right. That's why I think that in an effort to sort of curb this kind of plagiarism, big video sites, Google obviously because, you know, YouTube, Google, whatever you want to call it, obviously they've got all the AI stuff. And so I would think that they should just offer a transcription service of the video. You know, or at least there is, I think there is, in some of them, there is an option to have the speech to text. I've seen it, right? Have you seen that on YouTube videos?
Yeah, you can do it on
like
some of them.
Automatically transcribe.
But that's more subtitles, I think. It doesn't doesn't like put it in the description or anything. For something like that, basically what we'd have to do is we'd have to, like for a scripted video, say a review or, you know, a news story that you're doing, what you would have to do is write it out, do your recording, and then post it up in the description.
That wouldn't work too much because it would require so you might be able to text search whatever the original content creator put out there, but you'd have to then transcribe the plagiarist, right? So it's still not that. So it's just better if you had an entirely end-to-end automated process, where if every video is automatically transcribed by, you know, AI, and they have that exists, then you could just do, you know, if somebody submits it, then you could, you know, the editor could then just copy segments, you know, just broad chunks of the automatically transcribed thing and just go do a search, right? And then it'll come up. Because otherwise, if everyone's not transcribing their stuff, then it's not going to work. Like, that wouldn't, it has to be automated.
Right.
And I think that would be a really good solution. And I don't really think it would be that much overhead either.
Yeah, I think you're right in that respect. And it is so much harder. And, you know, when you really look at what happened here, is the guy only had about 11,000 subscribers at the time, which is small for a YouTuber. I mean, it's bigger than me,
right?
But it's small for a YouTuber. And I'm assuming what he was hoping is that nobody would discover it because of his size. It's not like he went after a big YouTuber.
And that's fucking predatory. That is just predatory behavior right there. That is taking advantage of somebody who doesn't have the reach.
Right. But what ended up happening is other YouTubers picked up on it. And as a result, it spread. And I think that's what really made it big.
Is great.
Yes, it is. And it was some larger YouTubers, other smaller YouTubers. It spread on Twitter. You know, these are the sorts of things that that social media does help with, and, you know, YouTube and everything else like that.
Yeah, it does, and it's great that you know, we've got the ability to sort of crowdsource this kind of stuff. But I still think that we shouldn't have to rely on. I mean, hell, look at it like this, and I think a lot of people probably see this as intrusive, but I also think that if you're not, it's one of those things where we're getting into a really interesting period now. I think just in the evolution of society and technology and free speech. Now, obviously, Alex Jones isn't really in the purview of gaming news, but, you know, he got kicked off of pretty much every social media platform and the air. So it wasn't just, you know, large tech companies, but the FCC, because he had been inciting people to riots, and I think that he is probably schizophrenic. I think he's not mentally well. I've watched his show. I used to watch it more years ago when he was just kind of like, you know, he would say goofy things like, you know, the government's trying to make the frogs gay and stuff. But now he on multiple occasions recently,
it's the chemtrails.
Talk about guns. Yeah, right. Like, it used to be that, and that was funny. But now he's actually telling people to get their guns, to get ready. The government is coming. You know, that stuff. And it's one thing where you can go, well, he's just speaking figuratively. Problem is, you've already had people go into a pizza shop somewhere and, like, I don't remember where it was, like Seattle or something. But a guy went armed into a pizza shop that Alex Jones kept insisting had a basement where Hillary Clinton was running a child porn ring. And it wasn't true. The building didn't even have a basement. And the guy went in there, and it was a very dangerous situation. Not to mention the Sandy Hook parents who've been harassed by these people who believe what Alex Jones has been saying, that all these children never died in Sandy Hook. They were actors. So there is one family had to move 7 times because people kept finding out where they live, dox them, and harassing them, saying that they were working for the government and that there are these, like, crisis actors. That's awful, right? So I'm bringing all this up because what I'm saying is we're getting to a point now where we have to start thinking about freedom of speech in terms of fake news, propaganda. Social media now allows anyone to have a platform that can get amplified just as loudly as CNN or any, primetime news network, right? So, and of course, first of all, First Amendment only applies to what the government can do to your freedom of speech. But, and I'm a huge free speech advocate. I've always believed that democracy dies in darkness, that there should be no secrets. But on the other hand, we're getting to a point where, does Alex Jones have the right to have his message amplified, right? And so the next sort of step is, going back to the plagiarism thing, people might feel like it's an infringement on some kind of right to privacy or freedom. But I think, in addition to things like having your videos automatically transcribed, I really wish about this game. Let me interrupt. The one criticism I have about this game is it is a fucking nag machine. You can't just run around and explore the world because you're constantly getting interrupted, nagged. It's like a babysitting simulator in Zombieland. It's really annoying. I'll tell you, it's the main thing that, like, this game is kind of my ideal zombie game. Excuse me. Except for that. That's the thing that's like, I'll play it for a couple hours and then I'll get bored because, look at this. They won't shut up.
Yeah.
They're constantly nagging you to go get this, go get that. Hey, man, I wish there was a button to just automate it. Hey, assign somebody to be a captain of the house. Just automate these fucking tasks. The game would be more fun that way. Anyway, back to my point. Keep coughing. You get a drink of water. Anyway, let me wrap it up so you can kind of I'm going to give you back the mic. But my thing is, if you have, in addition to automated text transcriptions of videos, but, so now these, online sites with machine learning can also compare. Say, hey, on this date, this content was uploaded. 5 days later, this other content was uploaded that was identical.
Strikingly similar, I think, is more. Because a lot of times when people plagiarize, they don't do it word for word. They try to add in different words. The joke is, you're like a high school student who just changes a few words around to make it look like you wrote it.
Exactly. That's literally what it's like. That's what they're doing. Oh, shit. I got all these people dying.
Oh, in your base?
Yeah. Yeah, she's about to turn into a zombie. Like, and you leave, and you come back, and all these people are, like, half dead. And everyone's just sitting around waiting for you to do something. Like, come on, man.
Well, look at it this way. I'm searching some houses for you.
Thanks. Most of the areas around here are pretty searched up, but... yeah, look at all these people. They're all about to turn into fucking zombies.
Oh, they have blood plague?
I just think that'd be a real good... Yeah. It's, like, really stupid. It's like... These people are all cranky and shit. We got a fat guy. I don't know what he... Oh, it's like Juggernaut or whatever the fuck they call him.
Where are you?
I think he's a Juggernaut. He's fat.
I can't remember how to run.
A left bumper.
There we go.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm out of bullets.
Yeah, you fat bastard. Oh, she's dead.
That hurt.
Are there any helpful people in the area? I could use an
See, I haven't had one of these guys attack yet. That's how early I am in the game. Oh, Jesus!
Yeah, they're like super tough. Yeah. You might want to... yeah. I don't know what to do with this guy.
I might have to grab some bullets.
Yeah, so that's the plagiarism thing. I think it sucks.
See, and of course this happens while we're trying to talk about stuff.
Yeah, right. We want to play a low energy. That's what I'm saying, man. Elder Scrolls would have been great. We could just run around, but you had to delete it. Anyway, I think that's my feeling about the plagiarism. I think it sucks, and that kid got what he deserved. Oh, well, so wait, I don't. Did you see his response?
Now, see, I didn't get a chance to. He put it up Saturday, and I ended up working 9 hours Saturday.
Okay.
Oop, oop, oop. Well, it's both there, Shama. We're recording it as we talk about it. We somebody Boomstick Gaming on YouTube had gotten plagiarized by a guy who was working at IGN. He is no longer working at IGN, by the way. Just so everyone is aware. Yeah, we'll equip that. How do I put it back in the thing? There we go. All right, now I got some bullets. Yep, I got some bullets. Oh, I need another melee weapon. That dude fucking wrecked my melee weapon.
Yeah, he's a big fat bastard.
Okay.
Yeah, he posts this completely remorseless, like, non-apology, right? Like, so basically he said everything he could to say that, like, there was no way for him to deny that he did.
But yet he did.
So
he did deny it. I saw parts of it. I saw parts of the video.
He did the classic non-apology.
Right. He did the allegations thing. There were allegations of plagiarism. Right. He never admitted it. He never apologized to Boomstick Gaming. He started off the video with the classic YouTube apology video of, you know.
Yeah, so no, what he did was, instead of apologizing, he just said, I respect what you do, keep doing what you do. I was a small YouTuber once. Like, so he was sort of speaking down to Boomstick Gaming a little bit, in a way. They're like, oh, I was where you were once. Keep it up. Your work is great. So really what he did was he just lavished the guy that he ripped off with praise, said there were these situations that he couldn't get into or something like that where, you know, it was complicated. And, you know, again, all the non-apology stuff, like, you don't know what I had to go through. And you're like, what are you talking about? Like, what? So it was really like a 10-minute just, you know, smoke up the ass blow.
Yeah, and he got called out for it. And one of the girl that used to work with him at IGN, she's no longer at IGN. I think she's a freelancer. She even called him out because he monetized the video. And
oh, wow. So extra shit.
Right, and then so I saw it posted on Reddit at about noon. And because I was at work, and then right before I left work, it was like 5:30, 5:23 actually, because I remember I posted up on Reddit like as of 5:23, it's no longer up. It wasn't up anymore, so within 5 hours it was gone. Yeah, and it was like you said, it was the classic non-apology.
Yeah, total bullshit. Mm-hmm. Really unfortunate that that's where the kid took it.
Now, on the plus side of this, Boomstick Gaming has gone up. I believe he's over 50,000 subs now.
All right, not bad.
His video, where he showed the plagiarism, has I think it has over 3 million hits. So as long as he was able to monetize that, he's made a pretty good amount of money off of that. And IGN
good for him.
has actually reached out to give him compensation. Which they did not have to do, but I think that was a good thing, in my opinion.
Yeah, it is.
So,
good on them for doing. The right
yeah,
thing.
I mean, I'll talk shit about IGN a lot. 7.2. Too much water. Whatever. But when they do the right thing, I'm gonna say they did the right thing. And they did in this case. So, good on IGN for the quick investigation. Good on them, again, on firing the person that they found. Yes, there were too many similarities. It was plagiarism. And good on them for reaching out to Boomstick Gaming, who, by the way, did not want Philip Mewson fired. He said that nope, I'm not breaking that open. He said he didn't want him fired, but he just obviously
he just wanted proper
right, and he didn't realize that he had to be fired. That's just how it goes.
Right. That's life, man.
Yep.
The dude lied, and he had to pay the price. It's just the way it goes, and it's got nothing to do with the Boomstick guy.
Right, and again, in any sort of media, plagiarism is very, very frowned upon, and you can be kicked out of college for it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, you can be expelled. I knew that. That was something I was fully aware of.
Yeah. So, you know what? That's what some people have said there, Shelmo, that, maybe they should offer him up like a freelance reviewer thing. Because apparently his reviews are pretty good. I did subscribe to him. I just haven't gone and watched a bunch of his stuff yet. But apparently his reviews are pretty good. So maybe they should.
I will say this. I'll say this. I'll to the guy, the plagiarist. I did listen to both the sort of comparison clips, and the plagiarist did sound a little bit better on audio.
Yeah, but he had more experience.
His presentation voice is decent.
I think he had more experience, but that's about it.
Don't excuse it. I'm just saying that, like,
right.
Yeah. Okay, this area is clear. So yeah, that's that. I think that.
I think we covered that pretty good.
Reconfirming that people suck.
Yeah.
His video apology was really aggravating to listen to. He just clearly does not give a shit. So fuck that guy.
Let's see. What is our next topic? Is No Man's Sky.
It's going to be one I think you're eager to delve into.
In a way, I mean, No Man's Sky was released on.
Oh, No Man's Sky.
Yeah, no, the next one after that.
Sorry, I thought it was that.
So No Man's Sky, it came out 2 weeks ago now, I think.
2 weeks.
Yeah, about that. And it actually became, for that week, the second highest grossing game, a downloadable game on the Xbox.
Yeah, surprising.
I did play a bit of it on my PC because I own it on the PC. We call it B+S Gaming, Shelma. With a really tiny plus sign in the middle for B+S Gaming. Haha, get it? That was my punny thing that we did. So it is better than when it launched. Bill is actually building a site for it. I'm not sure if it'll be up on iTunes or not. We'll have to figure all that out as we go.
Yeah, if it's on iTunes, I can't. I guess I do have an account on something. So okay, let me speak to that real quick. I don't use Apple products. Just not my thing. I don't want to get into the ecosystem. The technology is fine. However, for work I have a old MacBook, and I did create an account for myself, a personal one. And I haven't really used it much because, like I said, I don't use Mac products, and I haven't been developing anything for Mac right now. Long story, I'm not going to get into developer stuff, but the point is, so I had this iTunes account that I haven't used in like a year, and I keep getting these emails saying that, like, oh, fraud, somebody's trying to log in and break into your account and all this shit, and I'm like, I don't fucking use this thing. So then now my iTunes account is suspended because, I don't know, somebody keeps trying to break into it. And I'm like, I don't fucking care. Like, who cares?
Yeah, so,
You know, if some fucking schmuck thinks that I put my credit card into there, they're gonna be sadly mistaken.
Yeah, so I'll when we get the site up and everything, Shumbo, I'll tweet it at you. That's for sure. That's so sweet the way you have that set up to do that. I haven't really unlocked any of those moves yet.
I forget how to. Yeah, I forget how to fucking do like the finishers and stuff. I have to like go look in the menu. I really don't care right now, but yeah. So the site will get up soon. I'm actually still just going through the backlog of audio to record. But No Man's Sky. So I bought it for Xbox. You had it for PC. And so how would you compare the original launch to this sort of relaunch for Xbox PC?
Much better. It's much better now than it was. That is undeniable. However, I'm still going to say it's still fairly boring.
It is boring. They have the whole terraforming thing, which is neat. I don't remember seeing any of that in the initial launch stuff.
No, that sort of stuff wasn't there.
Which is neat. I bored a deep hole and then found water, and that was pretty much where I stopped playing.
Yeah, I've gone a couple star systems now. I hear somebody. Is he in the rock?
Yeah, I think he's in the rock. This game is very glitchy.
Yeah. Yeah, he's in the rock.
Okay, have fun inside that rock, zombie. Let's see. You don't scare me, zombie.
Yes.
Rock.
So it's definitely better than it was. I mean, I can say that. Is it?
Yeah, we could have played that actually because that's a lot less like.
Oh yeah.
It's so.
Except I'm not paying $50 for it on the Xbox. Since I already have it on the PC.
I keep forgetting that you have it. Yeah, I wanted to play it. I love Elite Dangerous for the Xbox. Really like that game a lot. It's Elite. The reason I stopped playing Elite is because it is a huge grind fest. Like, they have ships, and you can't. The amazing thing is, you can't, like, they don't let you spend tons of money to buy these big, ships. So good on them, because this is sort of a day and age where, like, oh yeah, you can spend kind of like that one game, Star Citizen. People were spending like $10,000, $15,000 for ships.
Oh yeah, now they might be going out of business
they
too.
Gone that route. No way.
Court case, yeah.
Because they were the. I think they still have the record for the most money about any crowdfunding game.
Yeah, it was some outrageous amount.
And in spite of that, they're still going to possibly go out of business. Where'd you hear that?
I follow a guy on Twitter who. Nope, wrong button. Nope, wrong button. How do I get to my inventory? There it is. Wait, no. How do I get to my inventory?
That's a good question. Click down on the D-pad. I was like sitting here trying to do it myself.
Oh, okay.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
All right. So you, I'm going to get rid of. How do I get you? And I'm going to equip you. And then I'll take you. There we go. Okay. So they're apparently with Crytek. They're in this big lawsuit over the rights to use the engine and stuff.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Really? Well, how do they not have the rights?
I'm not exactly sure. I don't follow the actual court case. I just heard about it today. Is that the judge like sort of threw out the Star Citizen yeah. So that's kind of
that's
weird.
interesting. So yeah, I read a lot of gaming news, and it's funny how stuff like that still.
Pardon me.
Yeah. How that stuff still slips through my radar. Court denies Star Citizen's backers 45.
That was a refund. That was a refund thing. That was different.
Right. Star Citizen court documents reveal the messy reality of crowdfunding a $200 million game. $200 million.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, I'll look at that later. But you know, that's dangerous. And this is kind of my problem with early access, crowd-funded. I did like 3 or 4 crowd-funded, or like, what's the big one that everyone uses?
Kickstarter.
I forget the fucking name of it. Kickstarter. I did a couple Kickstarter projects, and the ones I funded mostly got done. Wasteland 2 and Shadowrun Returns. I feel like I lucked out with that, so I'm just kind of keeping it that way. Like I'm just gonna count my blessings that way. So I stopped crowdfunding shit. Is my point. And the Star Citizen shit is a real good example of that. Probably I vaguely remember a guy suing to get his money back. And it's because the game never launched, right? Like he spent all this money.
Yeah, it's still in like alpha. It's still not even in like technical early access. Like you have to. It's a weird thing with it. So, yeah, it's definitely interesting.
How'd you do that? How'd you stab him in the head?
You hold down R trigger and X as you get close. Yeah, you have to get behind them.
And hold down R?
The R trigger.
Oh, the trigger, right. The trigger,
okay, when you get close and hit X at the same time.
Gotcha.
It's like a quick stealth kill. So, anyway, back to No Man's Sky. Yeah, it's definitely better. Although I did notice, like, surprisingly, my computer can no longer maintain a stable frame rate. And I'm running a 6-core i7, a GTX 980 Ti, and 64 gigabytes of DDR4 RAM in my system. And yeah, I couldn't even maintain a steady 30 frames per second without setting everything to low. And I used to be able to get 60 frames easy on that game.
So they upped what, a lot of the
resources on that, or Shumo's like, you're running so much overkill. I know, and I still can't freaking get a stable frame rate. How crazy is that? So, but then again,
yeah,
I haven't restarted my computer in a while, so there might be some other things that have gone in. Maybe my 80,000 tabs of porn. No.
Since I don't do Jesus Christ, there's all your fucking memory right there, dude.
I'm joking. I don't have that many tabs of porn open.
How many do you have open though? Like, have you looked at your system resources to look at how much memory?
Chrome always takes up a lot, even if I don't have too many tabs open. There we go. Like, even if I only have one window open with like 5 tabs, like Chrome is like hogging up tons of inventory or tons of memory. But I shut everything down. I just didn't restart the computer, so that might actually help. We'll have to see.
Right. Apparently, there's only a box you can open. I'm assuming, since it's got the same color as your icon.
Yeah, I just opened that box back there. I can't hold anymore.
Okay, so I like the game. We're kind of talking about the game and the system resources for the PC version. It's kind of a fun game, I think, to kind of just when you just kind of want to chill. I don't know what the point is. I didn't even know that you could go and talk to other alien races. That was new to me. Yeah. But yeah, there's alien races you can talk to, and
the whole point is to actually get to like
you're right, it's boring.
The center of the galaxy.
Right, so that the game can just restart.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. There's a gun in here if you haven't opened thing. No. And then there's a couple things you can search in this house.
Gas can over here for you. Yeah. And my pack is full. When I can transfer stuff to this girl? Talk to her. Dismiss, switch, give rucksack. Oh yeah, do that. Take that. That's cool.
Ooh, I searched 100.
I like it.
Yeah, no, it's not a bad game, but it's a game where it's really going to take a certain type of person to really get into it. And it's going to be that person that wants to...
I'd like to know what kind of person that is.
Well, it's the type of person that likes to build things, likes to explore, doesn't mind grinding, because, good God, you have to grind for materials in that game like nothing else.
Well, they said that they made the grinding less. I don't know how much you played to see if that's true.
It's not that much less.
And they have like all this...
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I ran around and played with monsters. I don't know, it's kind of neat. I probably will like jump in a couple more times, but if I hadn't bought the game, I wouldn't miss anything, frankly.
Yeah. Oh, they're chasing after you. Nope.
Whoa, what was... She like tackled that dude.
Well, at least there's no friendly fire in this.
Creeper heading toward us.
I don't know.
No, there isn't.
Okay, yeah, it's right through you. Good. That makes life easier. Oh, here, there's another fat
Yeah,
guy.
let's...
What, a juggernaut?
Time to reload.
Is he fucking dressed up like a... Was he dressed up like a red coat?
Wow.
He is! It's like he's...
Yeah.
Oh, you must have that DLC.
Yeah, I got the Liberty.
Yeah, okay.
But I forgot I had it. Because I like the game. Listen, I really like the game, right? Like, it's many things. But in terms of a fun game to play, and I'm you know, showing my support for independent gaming because I bought the first one twice. Yeah, twice. I bought it on the PC, and then I bought it when they had the Xbox version come out. So I'm a big fan of the game. I like it. And I'm supporting indie devs, which is ironic because now Microsoft owns them. So maybe Microsoft will make it better.
Right, that's the hope.
Hopefully.
That is the hope.
It's a great zombie game. I mean, like I said, as long as people aren't fucking nagging you every 30 seconds, it's really fucking awesome.
Mark your house so we can go drop some stuff off. And I gotta change characters.
All right, just follow me.
Because my guy's getting tired.
Not happening.
Yeah, so's my guy.
So, yeah, I mean, it's definitely better. It's still not a great game, I'll say that. But if you're into that sort of game, it'll be pretty fun. And it's definitely a lot better than it used to be. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just surprised that it reached number 2 on Xbox paid downloads that week. Because I didn't really think that Xbox gamers were really all that caring about it.
People wanted to play it, for sure. I know that I wanted to play it, but I was like, well, I'm not buying a PlayStation just for that game.
Yeah. All right, so the next one, Jessica Price came back to Twitter. And,
Yeah.
wow, I mean, I put up, like, most of the tweets. And you're right, Shomo, it was one of the most hyped games of all times. And it was one of the biggest disappointments of all times at its launch. It's generally much closer to what they said it would be now.
Yeah.
And holy shit, like, she still, like, refuses to take any responsibility for her firing from ArenaNet.
Yeah.
You know, and you...
But, I mean, I feel like at a certain...
Yeah, I was going to say, and did you notice, of course, like, the Nazis part came up, where, you know, the joke, of course, is, anyone I don't like is a Nazi.
I actually, once I heard that she was back on the circuit, I realized that she was a narcissist. And I really don't care what her politics are. She's clearly somebody who keeps, you know, and literally by definition, right? Like, you know, some of the observable definitions of a narcissist is somebody who needs to be in the center of attention and who will viciously attack anybody who disagrees with them. I mean, that's not the only criteria, right? Because that would pretty much describe a lot of people. But that's part of it, right? And then she's got this paranoid stuff and, you know, all with the exaggerated claims. She's clearly, again, she's like Alex, she's not like Alex Jones, but in the whole vein that there's just a lot of people out there, there's a lot of people out there who are just not balanced, you know? And so, who knows, maybe it's a a result of growing up now in a world where there's this deluge of information, 24-hour news cycles. Maybe some people, maybe humanity, wasn't actually ready for this level of technology, and it's like melting some people's brains. I mean, who knows? It's just, I'm just guessing here, but like, she clearly, you know, because her first thing was, I'm getting off Twitter, I'm taking a break, and then came right back on, and then went on this so-called vacation, and came back, and was like, it was kind of blown over, and you almost get the sense that like she came back, nobody was talking about it anymore. So her first, I know the first tweet she had, sort of coming back into all this was, so where was it? Right.
Like, here, let me really become the center of attention again.
Exactly. It's like, oh, we stopped talking about me. That sucks, you know. And then, of course, you know, somebody who thinks she's got some sort of like mission. It's not the word I want to use, but like she thinks now she's some sort of voice for social justice,
right?
You know, because she's got something to say, and you know, she's got to smash the patriarchy. And it's got nothing to do with that. It's got nothing to do with this crap. It's just this sad person needs to be the center of attention.
Yeah.
And it really bugs the fucking shit.
Yeah, and I know narcissists don't like to admit they're wrong ever, but that's really a very big trait of sociopaths, for sure. Because nothing is ever a sociopath's fault.
Narcissism is a big... Right, you're right, and that's so sociopaths, and really just antisocial personality disorders. Narcissism is often a big part of that, right? They're never wrong, and if you attack them, you know, it's Gaslight City. You know, it's you're the one. You know, and to think that all of this stemmed from, and I know you want to get more into the weeds of what she said and did.
I actually don't want to go too much in. I just wanted to say my main thing was, of course, like, you know, her whole Nazis and bots were attacking me, and it's like, yes, of course, we know you follow the you know, that meme that's out there of the, you know, the Children's Guide to Politics of everybody I don't like is Hitler. You know,
right. The Children's Guide to Politics. I like.
Yeah, and it's a picture of like Hitler riding a sled on a rainbow in his pajamas, and it, you know, it just says everyone I don't like is Hitler. And you know, you get like that. It's like, no, not everyone you don't like is you know, a fucking evil person, or not everyone that disagrees with you. Where are you? Did it put me back in my game?
I'm upstairs.
Oh no, there you are. Okay.
No, I'm in my house.
Okay, I see you.
Yeah, I'm just getting stuff equipped. Yeah.
But you know, she screwed up. Period. And it cost her job. And it's not the first time. She got fired from her last job for very similar reasons. So for her to sit there and still claim that, you know, it's the you know, the man coming after her, it doesn't work.
Right.
And, you know, yeah, I think we've given her more than enough time. There.
Yeah, well, and that's sort of my point with her, is that, you know, people like that, and I kind of want to spring this off into something else, because politics and video games have been kind of getting a lot of interweaving, and, you know, it's getting really annoying to me. Because, you know, we're losing sight of the point of video games, whereas as opposed to this thing where, you know, it's something that people can kind of come together and enjoy this shared passion. It's now about, do you agree with me? Are you on my side, or are you on their side? And it's like, what does that even mean? Like,
and it doesn't even, again, games don't have to be political. If the developer wants to make them political, that's their choice. But you get these other people that think that every game has to have some sort of political message. And you go, well, all right, what's the fucking political message of Super Mario Brothers? What's the political message of fucking Q*bert? You know, of Tetris.
Well, I like what David Lynch has to say about it, and it being the way people project this sort of like societal representation onto video games, where, you know, certain so-called self-anointed media critics like to say that, oh, I'm playing a video game, I can see this girl's butt, sexism!
Right.
right? As opposed to like, it's just a game and you can kind of, you know what I mean, the camera moves around and, you know, but David Lynch says that, you know, this is a story told about these people. This isn't about this female character is a representation of all women around the world, and this male character is a representation of all men. You know, he said, like, this is just a story about these people. This is their personality. This is their quirks. This is their story. And people are free to interpret the meaning any way they want, because David Lynch, for the people who don't know, and why don't you know, is an acclaimed auteur, director, artist, musician. But he's famous for his movies.
Right.
And they're also often, you know, they often kind of explore the dark side of what is ostensibly a normal life. And his thing is, you know, it's never about this pretty woman is doing a thing that's not the artist's vision of what all women do. It's a ridiculous extrapolation of behavior.
Yes.
And, you know, it's really annoying. I wish I could turn this shit off.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah, no, and I agree. And, you know, I'm not one of these people that believes that the personal is political, you know, all the time and politics gets into everything. It's like, no. You know, my video games, my entertainment, I do it to get away from the politics because I just want to enjoy myself. And if you're going to inject politics into everything, then please shoot me now. You know? It gets like that.
Or just like don't.
Right, like just don't do it.
Just don't.
Just enjoy what you enjoy and let other people enjoy what they enjoy, so long as it is legal and not hurting anybody else. Actually, even if it's illegal, like if you like to do drugs in your own home, I don't care as long as you're not hurting anybody. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. Hey, listen. I think that's all great. Seriously, like, you know, I just because that's where we're at now, you know. And so anyway, with this girl coming back and doing the thing, the thing is, and here's kind of what, you know, I want people to sort of keep in mind is that, and I do this, and I have to remind myself of this. I'm on Twitter a lot. I'm on, you know, all this, you know, these social platforms except Tumblr because it's a garbage.
Because it's Tumblr.
Yeah. My thing is, I read it and I'll click on the person and I'll go look at their posts and I'll say, aha, this person is not well. And like, for example, you know, if I'm on Twitter and I see, you know, some post, somebody does something, you know, it's something going to be about the news of the day, and you'll see some guy who's like, that's 'cause the libtards, or some the Republic jerks, you know. Although I will say this, that seems to be much more of a conservative thing. Like I've seen social justice warriors, because that's basically the extreme left that gets on people's nerves, and you can kind of see their posts, but they'll have other stuff mixed in. Like it'll be like, you know, 60% they're fucking ranting and raving about patriarchy, and then, you know, the other 40's like, I don't know, other reasonable human stuff. Some of these hardcore conservative extremists on the other end, all their posts, all it is memes about America and libtards and like just like ragging on people. There's a lot of rage on the right. Crazy people. Again, Alex Jones.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of rage on both sides, honestly, because a lot of the SJWs, they have a rage, but you're more like
rage. I'm not saying there's no rage,
but you're more like, why are you raging?
When you say both sides, you make it sound like it's balanced.
No.
It is not.
It's not.
There is a disproportionate level of rage on the right.
It's not balanced.
And when you read
but it's
not balanced, but it's there.
Yeah.
Just like this girl, whoever's name, I can't remember her name. It doesn't matter. We don't have to say it. But there's a lot of rage there. She's angry, right? And so, and what's going to happen now is she found a platform. She may find herself, much like other self-proclaimed media critics, she may find herself catapulted into some sort of representative role, which is bullshit, but there it is. It happens, right? And so we're going to have to deal with the fact that this fucking asshole is... Hey, was that my...
No, it was a zombie that was just...
Okay, cool.
That came into your house.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, so I just... It's really fucking annoying, and I'm getting to the point where it just makes me hate people.
Yeah. Like I said, I don't have a sense of humor anymore. Just sarcasm and a general...
You don't. Your sense of humor went away.
Sarcasm and a general hatred of the human race. That's all I have left. But, yeah, so let's get off of her. Quite figuratively.
I was
yeah.
on her.
Next one, Xbox Scarlet. The rumor was, this is kind of old at this point, but that there's going to be two versions. One is a streaming console, and the other one is the full-on console. What do you actually think about that with our current internet?
It is, well, it goes like this. They have to make it cheap. It has to be cheap. I don't care what it's got under the hood, because it'll never take off, even in places where people have good internet, just because the idea that
Deuce Nightbot does that.
Features, right?
Sorry, somebody was doing something in my chat room, and Nightbot gave him a little warning.
Okay. Yeah, so I think that it has to be a low barrier to entry. It has to make it attractive, because otherwise what it feels like is you're getting a sort of like, without the ability to, I don't know, store games. I actually don't know much about Scarlet. Can you download games locally if you drive like you can now at the Xbox
Nobody knows. Okay, this is just a rumor. The rumor was that there is a, that there's going to be like a streaming version and a non-streaming version, like but
it's like the old Phantom, like whatever that Phantom and the other streaming service, right? Where you're never actually even downloading the game as
right, or that it would download only certain parts of the game that you needed to run locally, type deal, and
right, like core services.
Right. But again, it's just a rumor. We're not sure. And the rumor, obviously, is that it would be less expensive than the full-on console, because it wouldn't have...
Okay. All right, that makes sense.
It would only have enough power to, do your controller, everything else. Anything that needs to be done locally.
Right. It's because it's basically like the Chromebook of video game consoles.
Right. Right. And I just don't think that our internet right now is really up to it just yet, because there are plenty of places in the U.S., one, that don't have broadband still. Now, granted, they're not populated places. Like, they don't have a very large population.
Right.
But when you look at the actual swaths of land, it's huge.
Yes. My in-laws' house up in the mountains has a dish network, and that dish has a 5 gig a month cap.
Right.
And the quality of streaming isn't very good. So you got a low cap, low bandwidth. That is not going to be the kind of place that, like, for example, the games I have, sorry, now it's a zombie horde.
Yeah.
I had to like preload them on a hard drive or a thumbstick and then copy them over when I got up there, because there's no way I was going to transfer.
Right. And there are places in this country right now. Oh Jesus,
Creamers.
yes. I think we got both of them.
Yeah, they're both dead.
Oh, sorry, we're gonna be quiet here a second. We got some zombies to kill.
Yeah, it's a huge horde. Wow, that was large.
Oh, that was good. And you look at a lot of Middle America. Their only choices for fast internet are their cell phones.
Which blows my mind.
Yeah. Satellite or nothing, because they're stuck on 56K.
Yeah.
And I remember actually reading articles a little while back about like people who they went to went to job sites, and because they were on 56K, it would reset before they could even finish filling out the jobs applications. It was that slow.
Really? Why was it resetting at all? A browser page didn't automatically reset unless there's some function telling it to do that on a web page. It's weird.
Maybe. You know what? That's a good one, Deuce. We'll get to that in a second. He's just asking a topic, which I think is a good one, about Nintendo shutting down a bunch of emulator sites.
Oh yeah, I did read about that. That's Nintendo being fucking Nintendo. Look what Nintendo did about their fucking YouTube stuff. Like, people promoting Nintendo's games, and they still wanted to take a percentage of the ad revenue on top of what Google takes, which is, I think,
40%,
30%, 10%, 40%. And then what did Nintendo want to take?
Well, if you didn't join their partner program, they would take all of it. Yeah, they would.
So yeah, it's Nintendo being Nintendo. They're so like, I don't know anything about Japanese culture, but it sounds to me like Japanese corporate culture is like greed built in.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll get to that in 1 second, Deuce, because we're still on this Scarlet. Deuce. Like I said, I think that even in 2020, when we're expecting these consoles to launch, it's going to be a tough sell for the people that don't have fast internet. Definitely.
Yeah. It's a tough sell for me.
Yeah.
I don't know that I necessarily want just a streaming.
Oh, I definitely would not.
Download. Yeah.
I want the full fat machine that can do everything, but that's just me. And that's, I think, going to be most people. Boy, there's a lot for you to loot in here.
They might need our help.
But I think for a cheaper alternative for people that do live in areas with good internet and they have a decent internet, it might be an okay thing. But I just don't know. I mean, it's obviously a consumer choice thing, which is great. But I don't know, even at a cheaper price point where you got people that are saying, maybe it'll be under $200 or it'll be $200. I mean, it would obviously not be $400 to $500. I would say max $250. So that aspect, it's good, but I just don't know how well it would actually work, especially for online games. Because now not only are you streaming the game to you, you're also streaming, your multiplayer data. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, there's a lot on the network because normally now if we're playing a game that's stored locally, all of that stuff, talk about streaming games, you're streaming all the resources, the game itself. And I understand that they can like crank out the latency is going to be one issue, and I know that there are, like I said, services that had already done that. But then yeah, you're right. There's also the other stuff, all the multiplayer stuff. Now look, I'm not saying it's a horrible idea.
No, neither am I.
I'm saying that this is nascent.
It's early technology. Yeah.
I personally can't see what they are right now. Yeah, but you and I were talking about this, I think, when we were coming back from going to check out an in-store demo of the Xbox One X.
Mm-hmm.
Up in where the fuck did we go? Hoboken is stuck in my head. It's not. It was somewhere
in Central Jersey.
Town. New Brunswick.
I forget exactly where. Yeah, it was somewhere. It was somewhere up there.
Yeah, wherever. Yeah, it was a good few hours away. So we were talking about how with this Game Pass Microsoft has, now this gives them a step in. Now here's one of I'm just trying to think of the upshots, right? So if you buy a cheap console, and you have, instead of buying games like, a new Battlefield comes out, or going to the store and getting used games that you won't be able to do, you have the Game Pass subscription. So now you've got a cheap system, $15 a month, no Xbox Live on top of that. You pay $15, you can buy the console and a Game Pass, and you just play the Game Pass games.
Right.
A real cheap. I think that there's some value there because that's a pretty low barrier to entry.
Yes, it is. It is. And I do agree with you there that, you know, again, for the more, for the people that don't have as much, maybe they don't have as much time either, but they definitely don't have as much money to be spending $400 to $500 on a console, plus $60 a game, plus $60 a year on Live, plus $10 a month on Game Pass, which I like Game Pass. You know, I just downloaded Doom for my
yeah, it's awesome.
For my Xbox.
Where did I park that fucking car? Oh, it's over there. Yeah.
I mean, even though I've beaten it on the PC, I just want to see what it's like on the Xbox. And it's free. Because it's, well, not free, but it's part of my subscription.
Right.
And I like that. But I just don't know, like, I have a feeling it'll really take probably another 10 years before we're really at that point.
I don't think it'll be 10 years. Even though 10 years is way too long. Even though Moore's Law is not really kind of in effect anymore, 10 years is a long, long time. Just think about where technology was, you know, 10 years ago. I still think that there's going to be, it's still going to be some level of exponential, maybe not double, but perhaps, but I don't think it's going to be 10. I think maybe half that.
All right, so we'll say between 5 to 10. How's that?
Okay, I would just say five tops. We'll have to see though. It depends. It also depends too. Rollout of things like 5G networks and ultra broadband, whatever the fucking name they're going to give it. You know what I mean? So there's that too.
Whatever she. Maybe they.
I'm just loading my stuff here.
I guess they fought off of thing at your house. Yeah.
Oh, good. Good for them.
So
putting in the work.
Is it a good idea? It's a good idea for customer choice, consumer choice. Yes. Is it going to be super popular? I don't know. If it's true, I can't say it's going to be super popular. It might be for some people.
I don't know. You know what's going to happen is what's going to be really important is the marketing.
Yeah.
Right. You know, Microsoft unfortunately is not really good at sort of demonstrating the value of things to people, and the launch of the Xbox One is a good example of that. They had all this momentum coming in to the next generation. Xbox 360 was the golden child, and all they had to do was give people pretty much what the Xbox is today, but they didn't.
Yep.
And they failed to communicate things until the very last minute. Good shot.
Thank you.
Really bad. I mean, it was.
And that was Don Matrick, a lot of that too.
It was.
And Balmer.
How to fail at marketing your fucking game console.
Yeah. Because that was still the Balmer years as well. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, it was. You're right. So,
Satya Nadella has been a much better CEO, I feel, as far as getting consumers to trust Microsoft. And
and Phil Spencer's been amazing.
Yes. Oh fuck, they in trouble.
Yeah, isn't that racist? Like, why does a black guy got to sound like a black guy?
Yeah, right. Why can't he sound Asian?
Shit. Like, really? Okay, all right. Everybody sounds like Sam Jackson.
Yeah, right. Oh, look at all these motherfucking zombies on these motherfucking planes.
Yeah. Come on, man.
So, yeah, I mean, I think it's a good idea, like I said. As far as consumer choice, yes. Do I think it'll be popular or really even truly viable? I'm not sure. I really can't say that it's definitely going to be viable.
I think
well,
so.
right at launch. Do you think it'll be viable, or do you think it might take a couple years still?
Well, again, I think that's the marketing thing. I think that if they're able to clearly demonstrate the value that it has as a sort of like, you know, alternative, like simple streaming, like they have to be able to define to people what does that mean, streaming. What is the value? Why is this better in some cases than buying a game, downloading it, storing it on your local machine? Because a lot of people, you know, when they transition from, you know, buying games online and owning them in the cloud, it went from. But I like to own my games. I like going to GameStop and trading in my old games and get new games. Right. And then eventually, but Microsoft sort of iron-fisted that in the beginning, and people were like, oh, because the always-on requirement. People flip the fuck out. Meanwhile, it's now I don't know what the metrics are, but I know that it is very common for people to just buy their games online. People they buy it.
It's still not majority, but it has been growing year over year.
That surprises me. I thought it might be about even, kind of giving more towards
physical,
online, like cloud gaming. Yeah, no, I thought it would lend more, skew more towards people buying and saving their games.
Yeah, well, if you count PC, then definitely. But if you're just talking console games,
well, no, just console. I'm talking console, right? Because we're talking about the value that to the transition, right? So okay, people are transitioning. People kind of see it now. Oh, I get it. I can buy my game, and I can just take it off my hard drive, and when I want to play it later, I can just re-download it. No biggie. And I think that Microsoft is going to have to really figure out how to highlight the benefits of a cheaper console that can stream games but doesn't really store them or anything like that, or whatever. Yeah, I guess it would. It would probably just save any sort of like your save data, right? And like where so you fire the game back up, it starts streaming all the shit again. Save for whatever it had to cache, and do that. I don't know. Interesting. Very interesting. We'll have to see where it goes.
All right, so on to what Deuce asked about Nintendo shutting down ROM sites, basically. I know they shut down one of the biggest ones. I can't remember the name of it. But, there's this big push, not just from people who want ROMs, but there's a big push. Ooh, what is that? I hear a big fucking thing coming. Let me kill this zombie. There we go. Emu Paradise. Yes, thank you there, Deuce. But there's a big push for archiving old games, especially like the old NES and Sega Master System and Atari 2600 games, where, they don't make them anymore. And they're extremely hard to find. Some of them are extremely expensive, depending on the game, even if you can find them on cartridge. Cartridges also wear out. They corrode.
So even if you own the game, doesn't mean you're going to have the game forever.
And I think, personally, I was never huge into the emulation scene. I've done it a little bit here and there with some MAME for some old arcade games and stuff like that. But I do think that people have a point that if we want to archive these old games so that future generations can see how games have evolved, if for nothing else, but education, that people should not be able to just say you can't have these games anymore. Most of them are, there's even publishers that are no longer around, so you could consider them abandonware.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I had to kill a zombie.
That's fine. Kill all the zombies you need, man.
You get abandonware.
Yeah, so this is my opinion. That's just, I feel like that's just Nintendo being Nintendo. Like, that's what they fucking do. They,
and Sega.
Really weird about their
Sega does it too. Yeah. Oh, yeah. There was a big hullabaloo about people doing reviews of one of the Sonic games that came out a couple years back, and Sega was copyright striking everybody who put up a review who wasn't GameSpot or IGN or Kotaku. Yeah.
Bullshit.
And Deuce says right. He's like, I'm not buying a $180 cartridge that doesn't work anymore, or that you don't know if it works anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the way to go.
And here's the thing. This is another one of the, I'm going to say this over and over, Nintendo being Nintendo, is that they I don't. I can't get my head around why they make the decisions that they make, because they have a demonstrable demand for their games, right, in other platforms. So, but their whole thing is, you want to play Mario, you have to own a Nintendo, right? But people want to play them on their phones. They did just release a Mario game on the phone. It was a big deal. But if they release so they don't have their back catalog on the online library of any of like the Wii, the Wii
Well, they have their virtual console, which has a lot of their old games, but that is not yet on the Switch, and that's a big thing.
The Switch was going to say, I knew, but wasn't it that it took them a while to release that back catalog, not even complete, on the Wii U?
Yeah.
Right? That wasn't like an instant
right.
thing. Like, it took a long time. And then, now you got the Switch, and they want people to buy the Switch, and the Switch is, as I understand it, kind of, the Wii, people loved it for like a day, but they still bought a fuck ton of them. The Wii U, people are like, I don't get it. What is this fucking thing? Is it like the Wii with a fucking
right.
like a tablet pad? I don't know what the fuck it is. So nobody bought it, right? Not many. And so then they have the Switch, and again, Switch is kind of like the Wii. People are like, oh, this thing is fucking great.
Yeah, it's wildly popular. And if for nothing else, just the portability of it, but still being able to play, quote, console games on it instead of, Game Boy Advance games or 3DS games.
Right. So I just don't get why. I honestly, I don't understand why any company, if you've got a console and people want to buy the games, just basically build an online library, a connected cloud library, kind of like what Microsoft is doing, where you have basically back compat. Every console moving forward, you have your account, you have all the games that you bought, and you can play all those games. You can play the original Metroid, you can play the original Super Mario Brothers, you can play the new shit, or whatever the console supports. And then basically what they do is they've future-proofed themselves, which means that more people are going to buy into that online.
Exactly,
store.
and
that's what Microsoft. That is exactly what Microsoft's trying to do with their fucking game store, with Game Pass and backward compatibility.
Yes, exactly, and
they're running emulators on the systems. So presumably any moving forward, the next generation Xbox, I fully expect to have all the backward compatibility of this current generation, plus obviously the ability to play the new games on the new system.
Yes. I fully imagine that too, especially because they're going to be sticking with the x86 architecture. It's basically much more PC-like. I downloaded Jedi Knight, Dark Forces. Those games are from like 1996 on the PC, and I can play them.
Right.
And that's a great thing. And you are exactly right. Whereas if Nintendo were to put it out, let's say they do like a Nintendo Game Pass, and it's just their first-party games, but it goes all the way back to the NES. Do you know how many people would sign up for that?
Oh, a lot.
Like, tons.
No doubt.
Like you said, you've got Metroid, you've got Mario, you've got Zelda, Dr. Mario. There's all sorts of games that Nintendo put out just themselves. What are they talking about? There ain't shit here.
I don't know. They just keep bitching about it. Yeah, I know. It's fucking crazy. Yeah, right. So here's the thing, right? And let's take another example of Nintendo. Seeing that there's a demand for their product, they're in business to sell product, and they are... I don't know what they're doing. If they're deliberately under-manufacturing because demand makes it look more appealing or what, but because they have to know that these things are going to go onto a secondary market for its significantly inflated prices.
Oh, yeah.
And they don't get any margin. They don't get any of that margin. So if they're so dead set against people profiting off of their stuff, just sell that stuff. Right? People wanted the mini Super Nintendo, whatever the fuck that came out. And then they had the NES original or classic, whatever the fuck it was called. I wanted one. My wife wanted one. Anyway, I would have loved one of my favorite original Nintendo games is Metroid. I love Metroid, and I would have bought a $150 or $200 console to play Metroid, and all the other classics are fun. Zelda would be great. Not enough. Like, I wasn't going to sit there and fucking haunt Amazon or keep going to fucking GameStop or whatever, like, to get these fucking things. I want one. I should be able to just go and buy one. I fail to understand what Nintendo's economics are behind their behavior. And now they're like, and they got these old games that they're making really impossible to get their people's hands on, you know, and then they're suing people who are getting emulators. It's just
right. And you know, according to the law, just to point out, according to the law, if you own a game, you are allowed to make a backup copy. Okay? Now, the console manufacturers, and I'm talking every console manufacturer, they don't like to admit that. But yes, like, I have the original Legend of Zelda on cartridge. I have the original Super Mario Brothers Duck Hunt cartridge. I am allowed by law to make backup copies of them. I'm only allowed to make one per game, but, you know, I'm allowed to do that. The law says, yes, you can. But, you know, it's just make a Game Pass-like system or subscription system for all those old games, and I would buy into it. $10 a month, and I get to play all those old games. And, you know, maybe they get, like, maybe they get Konami to put the old Castlevania games on. Maybe they get, you know, just some of the other really popular games from back in the day when, shit, we were kids. I would definitely do that. And I think you would, because your wife likes those games, and you like some of those games like that you would definitely buy into it. Why not? And they would make money hand over fist.
So I just don't understand their logic. I struggle so bad with, like, what is fucking wrong with you guys?
Mm-hmm. And the same thing with Sega.
Might have to yell at my cat in a second. Hey.
Getting on top of the fridge again.
You're good. Nah, she keeps eating plants and then puking up immediately afterwards, and she's been doing this her whole life. She's kind of like Nintendo. I don't understand why she can't learn from her mistakes.
Yeah. And it's just, come on, Nintendo. You would be, like, with the amount of gamers out there who are our age, who fondly remember the NES and the Super Nintendo, just think about that. Think about the money that they would make from $10 a month. I mean, we're talking millions of gamers. So, you know, I think that it would even surpass Game Pass immediately. You know,
I think so. I think that Nintendo's back catalog would definitely make, you know, if Nintendo did a very similar Xbox Game Pass offering the way Microsoft has, Nintendo would definitely blow the roof off the joint.
Yeah. I mean, they would easily be making, what, hundreds of millions of dollars a month?
I don't know what the number would be, but it would be a lot, and people would love it.
Yeah. Oh!
This thing. Oh, that sucks.
God damn, that's the first time I've ever seen them.
The guy's got acid on his...
Barley and...
Oh.
I got the achievement for killing him, even though you did.
What is it?
It was like barley and something. Oh. Yeah. Kill a bloater, it said. Yeah, and Sega could do the same thing. Konami could do the same thing for old games. You know what?
Yeah, I just don't really understand. If people love the old games, either let them emulate it or give them an alternative. Because what people are saying isn't, I just want to steal this. What they're saying is, I want to fucking play this. You're not making it available. It's the same argument that people make for torrenting movies and music. More movies, like, or shows, right? Like, oh, okay. For example, a couple years back, I wanted to watch Blues Brothers really bad.
Mm-hmm.
And you've probably heard me say this a half a dozen times, but I'm already subscribed to, I think, 5 or 4 different video subscription services.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Hulu, Netflix, Shudder. Maybe that's it now. Hulu, Netflix, Shudder. Plus, I buy shit on Google Play Store and the Microsoft Store. Right? So I'm paying for music in 5 different ways. And I wanted to watch fucking Blues Brothers. None of them had it.
Right, and that's like the studio not giving them the rights.
No, and I was subscribed at one point also to Showtime and HBO Go.
Right.
And I subscribed to Showtime just to watch the new Twin Peaks, and then I unsubscribed. and you know, I was subscribing to HBO Go just because they had movies on there I wanted to watch,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, but at the time that I wanted to watch Blues Brothers, none of those fucking services had that fucking movie. And I understand it's a licensing thing, but here's the thing: it's not. I'm not blaming like. I'm blaming whoever has the content and isn't releasing it because like, oh well, we just want to get more money. Listen, you ain't getting a bunch of fucking money for like Dr. Detroit, which is another movie that's really shitty, but I love it. And so what do? I have to fucking download this shit. Oddly enough, couldn't find Dr. Detroit. The movie is so unpopular. It's not.
It's kind of like me, so unpopular. It's not even on the internet. But yeah, I'm taking my pills.
Oddly enough, Dr. Detroit was just on like, and I have Amazon Prime too, right? Like I can't look at all these fucking things I'm paying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I should not have a hard time finding a fucking movie I want.
Exactly.
Amazon Prime pisses me off because you have Amazon Prime, right? So you can watch movies on Amazon Prime, but then you have to get the Amazon like Prime Premium because like half the time, and it's amazing how it's always the movies you want to watch. You go to Amazon Prime, it'll say in order to watch this movie, you have to go on to like I guess the web and rent the movie, and then you can watch it through this. And I'm like, you sons of bitches, you know. And there's I can watch like, you know, Adventures in Carrot Top all day long, but if I want to go watch like The Godfather, God fucking forbid, I have to go like rent it somewhere.
Yeah. So getting into what the chat says, well first first Deuce was like, damn, roasting yourself, and Shomo was like, Jesus, if you're that damn unpopular, why on earth have I been following your shit for 10 years? Because you're a masochist. There, Shomo. You're a masochist. So anyway, but he also said, and I agree. He's like, you know what I want? Whatever the new PlayStation system is, and we can say Xbox as well, but PlayStation and Xbox, is to have a completely digital, backwards compatible library. I want to play all the PS1, PS2 games again, but they're so limited, it's bullshit. And yes, we both agree.
Right.
We're very happy with the efforts that Microsoft is making into backwards compatibility. There are some games, obviously, that... Oh, shit, hold on, I gotta change my character. My guy's falling asleep. I just noticed it.
Can I drive while you're changing?
I don't think so. I think I have to be at the house.
Okay, alright. Well then...
Yeah.
Alright. Well, that's fine, because we've got a big old raid on the fucking house anyway, apparently. What the fuck is going on here?
Okay, let me change characters. But yeah, no. You know, Microsoft has been making really good strides. Look, they put Crimson Skies as one of the first regular Xbox-compatible games to come out. And I was like, yeah, because I love that game when it came out. I'm not going to use her.
Right.
If you only knew the power of the dark side.
Let's use him. Now I don't know. Okay, he's got some room. Where the fuck am I? I'm in your garage or something. Oh, you marked a place. Okay. Let me get back to the car.
Yeah.
I can't fucking see. This game is so dark. But no...
It is so dark.
We definitely agree that we want complete backwards compatibility.
Which is just funny that, you know, Nintendo's... I mean, obviously emulators are the way to go, and Nintendo should just give people the hell they want.
I apparently just missed somebody either following or subscribing on YouTube, one or the other. Sorry about that. Oh boy, Blood Plague zombies. Oh, Jesus! They just pulled your dude out of the back of the truck. Yes!
I didn't even know that was possible.
Me neither.
Oh, there she is. Come on. She's my favorite. I can't let her die.
Get rid of that one.
Dude, yeah, I have my Xbox app up instead of my other thing. There we go. Let me... So, We have Illustrumore who followed apparently. Thank you very much. Yeah, sorry, I'm trying to think. A little bit of lag there though, but yeah, no, completely agree on getting all that stuff. Backwards compatibility. I think Microsoft is making huge strides in it, and they're going to continue, at least under Phil Spencer, to do that, because I believe he understands the value that brings to, you know, anyone who... What, I was a big horde of fucking blood zombies.
Oh yeah, totally.
But that it does that. You know, it gives people an added value. And I like the way that they do it, where it's... Ooh, yeah. Ow. Ooh, that hurts.
Yeah, it does.
I like the way that they're doing it. Yeah.
Jesus.
Where it's... If you own the game already, you can just put the disc in and it automatically downloads. You don't have to pay for it. And if you don't own it, you can buy it cheap. I think they're like $10. You know what I mean? Which is not that expensive. I guess we have to stop for me to eat. Hold on.
Oh yeah, me too.
Okay, I guess we got to get...
Get out, so that's dangerous.
There we go. Okay. That's better.
My health. There we go. My health is fine.
Yeah.
I had to eat like 9 things.
How did that happen?
Guess I get in my... guess you got in first.
I guess I did.
Alright, so we're gonna make a left. Yeah, make a left. Sorry.
Alright. And yeah, you know, just that sort of...
It's gonna be up here on the left soon.
Oh boy. Almost just ran into that ditch.
There we go. Yeah, so I'm scoping this out as a future base. So that's what we're doing here.
And yeah, I totally agree there, Shamo, that we want backwards compatibility, and do it the way Microsoft does, where you own the game, you just pop it in, and it says, okay, you know, granted you got to keep the disc in the system, which is a little shitty, but that's what I do with Skate 3. I still have Skate 3 in my system because I love that game. I love all the Skate games.
Yeah.
Yeah, I knew that noise was going to bring people.
Goddamn zombies. Whoa.
Nice. See, but, you know, Sony's trying to do their whole streaming version of it, and I hear it's not that great. Honestly.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the latency mainly. Especially for more fast-paced games. Oh, God, my chat, I gotta...
Yeah, and that's the thing I'm curious about. Like, if, you know, the streaming stuff, if you have a lot of really fast, like, how good would that be for, like, Twitch games, right? Like Halo.
Or fighting games.
Or fucking Titanfall.
Yeah, but, I mean, and think about...
Where timing is...
Yeah, fighting games where, like, people fucking memorize frame timing on how to trap people and do stuff. You're not going to be able to... Pardon me. You're not going to be able to do that if you have, like, you know, a halfway bad latency. You know what I mean? Oh, wow.
Yeah.
This place already has stuff up here nice and
Something
built.
else this game likes to do is...
Who the hell has a fucking submachine gun?
this game loves to...
Oh, okay.
It's like a silenced auto pistol. The game loves to, when you're by yourself, and even just now because you're with me, is to have the people that are with you like keep jumping in front of your fucking gun. Oh God, is that annoying.
Areas explored for... Okay, now you got it.
There we go. Yeah, I was looking for that last fucking thing. Tiny ass little closet, like it matters.
Yeah. Zombie could have been hiding in there.
There we go. This is a big moment. I've been waiting to save up for this place for a while. Nice. You know, one of the things that they don't have in this anymore, the first one had, was the ability to board up the windows.
Oh.
You could go up to any window and just board it up. Now you can't do it. Kind of a bummer.
You see, I never played the first one.
I like it. It's really good. This game is a huge improvement over it, though, in terms of performance. It was really laggy. Like, even if you had a good system. Now, my laptop at the time was decently powerful, but it wasn't strong enough. Like, it couldn't do all the stuff. So I didn't expect it to be. But even when you got onto the Xbox, it wasn't optimized. It was just like if you turn around, look around, and get like real slow and jagged. Anyway, good game.
Yeah.
Is that a zombie? Okay, I was like, where the fuck is that shit? Sweet.
Dun 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 dun. So I guess that's
Got all these ladders around
getting
here.
pretty close to the end of the show then. I don't really think there's any more
Yeah.
topics we have to discuss.
No, I don't really have anything. I will say that, even though I was talking to you about it, I decided to allow the hype to get real for Anthem. Actually, Anthem, Fallout 74, and Red
76.
Dead. I think Red Dead's kind of a
Yeah, no, Red Dead is definitely a no-brainer.
Yeah, that's
Oh, that's right. That's right. We actually forgot
Fallout
that.
for me is gonna be-
The trailer for Red Dead came out, the new one, all gameplay. Looked amazing. Did you watch it?
Yeah. I did.
Looks
It does
fantastic.
look great.
And then the Doom Eternal.
I'm excited for it. Oh yeah, I forgot about Doom Eternal. Is that PC only?
No. It's going to be on all the consoles, even the Switch. They've already said it's going to come out on the Switch too. Because Doom is on the Switch as well. Doom 16.
Right. I got to finish Doom. I still have it installed.
It's a great game. And the Doom Eternal looked
It
really
is fun,
good.
man, from what I was playing. I was anyway. So I wanted to talk about Anthem, right? I just wanted to bring that up in the sort of closing moments. I know there's a big risk. I downloaded Destiny 2 again because I'll say this: I agree with everything everybody said about the bullshit that is Bungie now, this new era of Bungie, and how fucking trash Destiny 2 is, kinda. I don't think anyone.
Before we go any further,
the gameplay is still
full
fun.
disclosure, we know someone who works at Bungie, and I know two people that work at Bungie, actually. Full disclosure.
Yeah. Actually, I think Wolf Boy's leaving Bungie. He's going to New York. You got to.
Oh, okay, all right, but he's technically still there.
Yeah, he just announced it on Facebook. I mean, he was always really good to me. Anytime there was like beta codes or pre-release versions of like Destiny 1 or 2 or any, he would always say, "Hey, you want a copy?" I got an early copy of, I think, Destiny.
Yeah.
For Xbox. So he's always been really good to me, and I'm not I think he knows where I'm coming from. Like, he knows.
I just want to make sure that people
And
understand that we do know people there, so we just have to say that.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah, and so although I think typically it's more full disclosure when you're like, oh, glowing.
That's
reviews.
true.
I'm just not happy with. Luke Smith had made a lot of claims about how there was no more grimoire and all the lore was going to be in the game. Oh, okay, cool. But then they took the fucking grimoire offline. So if you want to go back and read lore from the first game, you now can't.
Oh, I did not know
It doesn't
that.
exist unless you go to like. Yeah, I went right before the launch of Destiny 2. I wanted to kind of bone up on the mythos, and I couldn't. It was gone. The grimoire cards were all gone. So they took all of that content that people did like eventually people just sort of
Came around to it.
found peace
Yeah.
with it. yeah, like, okay, well, whatever. There is no in-game content, so this is where the lore is. And yeah, and it was all gone. And, you know, Luke Smith made it sound like there was going to be a lot of in-game lore, and there's going to be, you know, all this like a kind of built-in compendium, kind of like the way like Mass Effect Andromeda or like Deus Ex did, where you can kind of go back and read about the stuff, the characters you
Right.
stuff. No, it was just occasionally some of the whatever the yellow, the legendary or epic weapons, some of them you could like hit the right trigger when you're in the properties, and they would have a slide out story.
Oh.
You know what I mean? So and I felt like Destiny 2 had a lot of false promises. But regardless, it's fun. It scratches a certain sort of FPS itch that I have. Halo could too, but I played so much fucking Halo. But I have an urge to go back and revisit the Master Chief Collection. They're gonna be releasing the new stuff soon.
I hear the new patches are actually supposed to be really good. People who are in like the preview
I
for
was
it.
watching a guy who's doing comparisons. Looks amazing. Looks amazing. So, but anyway, all of this to say that I understand that there's some big risk with Anthem. That's why I didn't buy any special pre-order bonus edition. I just bought the plain, you know, vanilla version. But I'm hoping. I have been reading, even though despite all the exodus of different writers and developers of the game, people maybe when Ubisoft was it Ubisoft? Ubisoft, right? Is making it?
No, it's BioWare.
Anthem. No, Anthem.
BioWare.
Is it
Yeah.
BioWare? Okay, I don't want to those get so fucking confused. I just can't keep them straight. Yeah. So, but they had done some sort of like press junket with journalists, and a lot of journalists came back saying, "Wow, this game is surprising us." So, on the strength of that, I figured I'd give it a shot. Looks like what they did was they went back and revamped some of the more loot boxy elements because of all the controversy around it lately.
Yeah, and I'm going to come out and say it. I don't advocate pre-ordering a ton of games, personally.
Right, you don't.
And I think if you're going to pre-order a game, you should already definitely know you were going to buy it to begin with. Okay, so
yeah.
For me, the pre-orders right now that I am interested in is this pay. I'm going to buy Spider-Man, because I've been a huge Spider-Man fan since I was a kid. And everything I've seen of this game looks extremely promising. So, yes, I will pre-order that.
Nice.
And Red Dead Redemption, I will definitely pre-order. Because...
now...
I was going to say, well, because the last Red Dead was incredible. And...
it was good.
And so far, you know, Rockstar has not done anything to make me not want to deal with them. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, yeah. Totally.
Same thing. Like I will probably, as long as you know CD Projekt Red keeps up what they're doing. You know, when Cyberpunk is ready to pre-order, I'll pre-order that.
Oh God, you kidding me? If I could have pre-ordered that now, I would have. I would have ordered the Super Deluxe Extra Take My Baby edition.
Yeah, but
look at that fucking building way off in the distance over there. Like
yeah, I was looking at that. I'm
tower.
like, what is that? Is there a way to zoom in? Right stick.
Massive silo. It's called Massive Silo.
Interesting. So yeah, you know.
Oh, and I can set it up as an outpost.
Oh, nice.
That's good.
So yeah, I personally don't advocate pre-ordering a lot of games. If you're going to pre-order, just make sure that it's a game that you already definitely know you wanted. Whether it's from a developer you trust, or it's just, you know, maybe a series that you like, that sort of stuff. But, you know, pre-order culture, especially when it came to like GameStop and, you know, stuff like that got out of hand. And Ubisoft is pretty bad at that.
Originally it was, you know, for physical copies of stuff, you wanted to pre-order your game just to make sure you got your copy,
especially for popular games.
And I remember going and paying off Gears of War 2 and shit. Like, you know, could you go back and on game day you go get game? Well, and that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm surprised to hear that more people aren't doing online digital sales as opposed to the physical copy, because it's just you pay for it and then you're just, for me now, the only benefit of a game, like you're saying, buy it if you know you want to get it, if you feel confident it's a good game. And I don't with Anthem. It's a big risk, and I understand that. But it's because you want it downloaded, they preload it, and then of course you can kind of play it as early as you want as soon as it releases, like midnight.
Right, yeah, 12:01.
Taking a day off
You
work
can
or
do
something.
it.
Right. So, and that's the current benefit. But again, I think there's also a distinction to be made between pre-ordering a game, so you have all the benefits of preloading and stuff, and paying for season passes of content that in many cases isn't even complete or started yet, which is for me that's a bigger. I don't do that anymore. Like I don't. I typically, like I said, on all the games I've pre-ordered, I got the plain vanilla version. Red Dead plain vanilla, Fallout plain vanilla, all of them. Because if the game passes are that good, then or rather, if the DLC is that good, then I'll just buy it after I've played the game. But with Destiny 2, I got burned. I didn't really play much Destiny after, like, the Curse of Osiris sucked. I haven't even played the second DLC, and so I bought the game with Season Pass because it was one of those things where I went back, played Destiny 1 right before they launched Destiny 2, and the game had been patched and was so much fun and so good that I was like, oh my god, if they're going to take this and just make it better, then yeah, take my money. Literally, I pre-ordered Destiny 2 and the Season Pass, and it sucked. It's I wouldn't even really say it's better now. It's just just running around shooting things in first person is just a lot of fun in that kind of shared world. I do like.
Yeah, I think it's a potential problem with the Division 2, where the same thing could happen. Where the Division now is much better than what it was when it launched after they patched it up for the past 2 years. Right. But you have to hope that they actually have taken what they've learned and put it into the Division 2 and aren't going to take 3 steps back for 1 step forward. Right. And it's always a risk. That's why I'm not really, until I see a lot more of the Division 2, I'm not even thinking about pre-ordering it. And
yeah, it's a fair.
Remember, I bought the PC version and the Xbox version so I could review both. So I spent a lot of money on Destiny or on the Division. So.
Yeah, I have it. I just have a hard time.
Yeah, it's much better now. The end game, especially.
Right.
So. All right, then, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. Thank you for chatting. It's always good to see people chatting as well.
Yeah.
Obviously, while we're doing this show, we don't respond quite as much as it would be just for a regular stream because we're trying to get through the topics. But thank you for chatting. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to follow on Twitch or subscribe on YouTube, anything like that. And there will be, once the website's set up with all the audio, we will definitely be putting links to that in the description on YouTube every time. So,
yep.
I'm Sam.
I'm Bill.
And thank you for watching, and we will catch you guys later.
Yeah.
Oh, that was good. I appreciate that one. That got a laugh.